Hello and welcome back to the From the Terrace Podcast. Bit of a different setup once again this week. Jack has extended the camera to twice of his height, so he could get all of us in.
That's now fair. 4 foot tall.
Yeah,
just goes above the table.
Yeah. Alongside me is Charles Sendy.
All right.
We've got Sean King, also known as BS.
Yeah, you'll probably hear that throughout the pod.
Yeah. He's well prepared. And across the table is Regan Valet.
I'm lonely.
You're lonely over there. We got Jack behind you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The man who he loves to hate.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'll tell you what, this podcast really has brewed a bromance, hasn't it? Let's be honest. They act like they hate each other. They love each other.
Imagine them two on like a Top Gear kind of show.
Yeah.
They go to like Sri Lanka and like.
Yeah, it's like
it's
like Clarkson. It's like Clarkson and James May, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, in the best possible way.
What a duo they are.
And Wayne's still in the corner from last week.
Yeah, because Wayne thought, you know what, this week I'm gonna have a seat. No, Sean turns up. Wayne has no longer got a seat again. He just stood in the corner.
As Jack stands
from
his seat.
You know, like in classrooms when they used to have like the model skeleton in the corner. That's one. Yeah. That's one. Yeah.
And they pull him out for like biology lessons.
Like we said last week, Wayne, you're part of the furniture.
The anatomy of dead dog.
Anyway, Regan, we're going to start off. There was no Premier League this week, was there, unfortunately?
Boring.
So we had a bit of FA Cup action. Want to go through maybe some of the results? Obviously, there was one game that stood out.
Should we start with it?
Yeah, let's start with it, I think.
No, we're definitely not doing that one. Shrewsbury 2, Liverpool 2. The young boys, bottled it.
Wait. What? You said bottle it and you got a bottle in your hand, so I was like...
Oh, I get it now. Oh, that's good. Oh, right.
But, Shrewsbury absolutely dominated Liverpool in that game. Seriously, people will go, oh, Shrewsbury did well to get a 2-2 draw. And I mean, obviously they did, but people would say, oh, it was clearly just like Shrewsbury literally battered Liverpool the whole game. Do you see Donald Love's own goal?
Yeah.
Sean left the room. Sean was watching me. He left the room, came and was like, "Remember Donald Love?" And it was just him passing the ball into his own net.
Oh yes.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, that could be a discussion for later in the pod. But players who have played for big six clubs and then gone to nothing. George Dorrington.
But that's extreme.
Yeah, that is extreme. Yeah. But it's just there's so many of these players. They play for a big club just because they've come through the youth system, but they've got no ability.
No.
I'm not having it. Donald Love.
It's me for Slabhead.
Yeah. We're a big six side, aren't we? But no, Shrewsbury.
Elite team.
Shrewsbury dominated the game, but I think this would be a good time to bring the discussion of whether you think big six clubs or just every team in general should be obliged to play a certain amount of players from their last league game, because Liverpool obviously made a lot of changes. And Klopp's having this argument that obviously he wants to get rid of FA Cup replays. We spoke about it last week. But it's his fault for fielding a not strong side. A strong side that wasn't capable of beating Shrewsbury. And the effect of that, the knock-on effect, is that he now has to play another game.
But he's not going to.
If he just played a little bit of a stronger side, win the game, then you wouldn't have this problem again. And the whole thing, how he said, the youth players playing, I've still got a bit of a problem with it, but I don't mind it because, I mean, but the fact that he's not turned up is absolutely disrespectful to Shrewsbury, I think.
Yeah,
I feel that as well. When Rio Ferdinand was on about it as well, he said, "Oh, I can understand Klopp's view, but if you're not gonna go to that, it's just a bit stupid. It's at your home ground. You probably live 10 minutes away from the ground.
Not in Liverpool.
Yeah, but I mean, you can still go. You can just still go to Anfield. I think every.
You're always close to home in Anfield.
Yeah, I always feel you've got to at least managers should go to every game.
Corner you turn is a new home.
It's from a footballing city.
What a working class
city. God. Oh, that's one of Charles's pet hate right there.
When people say that they're from a
when Northern football fans justify their love for the club being more than Southern fans because they're from a working class city, as if people from the South aren't working class.
No, but Bill, we eat scones and scones, so we must be.
We don't eat cobs, so we can't be.
Anyway, so yeah, I mean, like you say, to Rio Ferdinand, I think he's probably the worst pundit on television at the minute.
Really
what was it he said about it again?
So he's basically saying that the younger players that are going to play probably be licking their lips at a chance for it, which I get, and playing at Anfield. But it's you got to think those Shrewsbury players put in the effort to get that 2-2, and now they're not even going to play against any starting players for Liverpool, which they probably want to do, even if they do get knocked out. because like they've got that centre back, I forgot his name, but they like were interviewing him before the start of the game anyway.
Aaron Pierre, I think it was. Yeah.
So then he was like, "Oh yeah, Van Dijk's like an inspiration. Like I hope like I get to swap shirts with him." He wasn't even in the squad. Like I get it, but it's like at least put him on the bench or something. Like just give him something to like feel. Oh yeah, like you know, at least I'm playing with some big players I look up to.
Yeah, and I agree. And for Klopp to come out after the game as well and say stuff like, he's like, "Oh, the FA." Or the Premier League something they wrote to us a letter. They didn't give us a winter break, so we're gonna have our own. Like, what do you mean? No one else has. I hate it. No one else has a winter break.
Yeah.
Why does it? It's like Liverpool fans, or like just Liverpool as a club. They're just like they feel attacked if they don't get their own way. It's like, what do you mean? No one else got a winter break.
Yeah, they want to be their own country.
If you wanted a winter break so bad, then you would have fielded your strongest team to make sure you don't get a replay.
Exactly.
Surely.
It's an absolute joke, isn't it?
He comes to the league and he wants it on his own terms.
Yeah, he wants it in the way that he basically wants to eradicate anything that could make him bottle a league or
bottle job still on the cards.
Yeah.
I'd love
but
that.
like because he probably knows if the Premier League keeps up with these amount of games, so this season they've been amazing, last season, but he's not going to be able to keep that team playing that high press style every and still being competitive, is he?
Oh no.
There's one season in Premier League he's going to drop off, and he probably just wants to try and avoid that happening.
Yeah, I think
really
he's
selfish.
scared of it.
Yeah, he's scared of it. Klopp doesn't strike me as someone who's actually confident. I think it's all a bit of it's all a bit of a sort of show, isn't it? Of Klopp,
Yeah.
I think.
I
mean, obviously he's a brilliant manager, but I think like he still knows he's got weaknesses. I think, and it's.
I don't think he ever shows that he's like, because when you see his conferences, he's like, "Oh, we deserve to win." He's like, he said we played well, so he doesn't have confidence to say that. Oh,
we didn't play well, but we got the win today and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, he never says that.
He always sees the bad side of a victory. So for me, every time I see him, like his celebrations as well, I feel like sometimes it's more relief as such, because he never goes in with the mindset that, oh, it's against Huddersfield, we're going to win.
Yeah.
Do you know what it is though? You've just said Huddersfield, and it just flashed back to the first series from the Terrace Podcast.
Yeah,
every 10 minutes.
I just thought of the
mentioned
worst
Huddersfield.
team. I just thought of the worst team we've had so far in this series, and it is Huddersfield.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to Shrewsbury before we move on to the next FA Cup game. I mean, they obviously, like I said, they played really well. And if Liverpool field those youngsters again at Anfield, I know it's at Anfield, it is a bit different, it's a bigger pitch, all that sort of thing. Shrewsbury could knock them out. It's not actually that. It's not.
Because they did have a lot of chance in that game as well.
Especially, you know, when Liverpool last fielded their their under-23 side, and they just had their under-23 manager there, not Klopp. They lost 5-0 at Aston Villa. If they play like that, Shrewsbury will beat them.
Yeah.
Well, they really will.
Yeah, which I think it's
And then they'll have a tight. Then Shrewsbury will go to Stamford Bridge after that. I think it is. Which would
that's gonna be a tasty tie.
I was really hoping as well in the FA Cup draw that like Saints would get Portsmouth again. Like when it was like Final Four, I was like, please let it happen. I was like, no.
Yeah, we'll get on to the FA Cup draw later. Any other sort of games that there was worth noting?
Can we say that both Shrewsbury and Jason Cummings?
Oh yeah, Shrewsbury get performance week, and Jason Cummings gets average player of the week. So we get a round of applause to Jason. He came off the bench. Ian Wright's going to milk that bit of punditry for probably the rest of his punditry career, because he doesn't get much else right.
What did he say?
But he said Jason Cummings will come on and score, and he got a brace. And their whole post-match thing was just about Ian Wright saying, "Yeah, I just knew this was going to happen." As if he watches Jason Cummings. I mean, I like Ian Wright, but I mean, just have a day off, mate.
Yeah.
Absolute joke.
We'll just run through some of them. QPR lost, and actually, do you want to speak about? Because I know I saw you on Twitter after you went to Griffin Park. You said you were quite happy with your side's performance against Leicester.
Well, us three all went.
Yeah.
Up the Potter.
At the Potter. At the Harry Potter. Shout out to Harry Potter out there.
Yeah,
big up Harry. Big up Harry. Yeah, we went 1-0 down really early, and at like the start, Brentford obviously made. This obviously the topic of discussion later as well. Brentford made 9 changes, and you'd think playing against
Not taking it seriously.
Yeah, well, you'd think playing against a team who were like third in the Premier League, you'd think Championship club, they're going to embrace that. They're going to try and. We made 9 changes. We played a very youthful team who hadn't played with each other before. I mean, Leicester made some changes as well, but Leicester's team still had some like.
They have talent.
I mean, obviously, it's clearly because they're a Premier League side who've got squad depth, so they made changes and they still had a very good side out.
Yeah.
But the first 50, the young players were all over the place. Brentford, it was absolute shambles. But I thought, and then the first half, Leicester did deserve to be winning at half time. Second half, I thought some of those young players did really well. There wasn't too much to say about the game, to be honest. It was
that prayer or Pratt.
Oh, have you seen the?
That
pass, what a
yeah,
pass that was!
You couldn't really tell from watching the game.
No, at the time, I thought it was really bad defending, and then when you look back, you're like, that is class. To be fair.
But let's be fair, like, after that, and then he had a shot or something, but after they did nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, he was pretty.
But like that one pass, that's what I mean.
I thought Damari Gray was shocking as well.
I think the best player for Leicester was probably Chowdhury. He probably controlled.
Do you think Chowdhury?
Yeah, they all kept passing it to him.
I think Soyuncu was the one who really looked a class. Like there was just no getting through him at all.
I like Jose Perez personally, but
I can see where Sean's coming from with Chowdhury, because when you see their main team, everything goes through Ndidi. Everything goes through that central mid position. So yeah. But yeah.
As well as we had quite a young midfield out there, so he sort of was able to boss them in the park.
Do you feel like you've played like a youthful side because you're obviously battling for promotion in the Championship, that you think that maybe, well, obviously it's more money to get promoted rather than it is just to win the FA Cup?
I don't think it's even about the money for Brentford. It's not about that. It's about that. Like, let's be honest, but like, Brentford aren't exactly a club who you can guarantee are going to be in like the top 6 every year. So when you get the chance to be in and around it, you got to take that chance, haven't you? And it didn't work. The rest of our players, and we lost 1-0 last night.
Yeah, I was going to say with
that annoyed me a bit, because I was like, if you've rested this, and a lot of fans have turn up to this. I mean, to be fair, the young players actually put in a really good effort, but they could have lost 4-5-0. You don't know, because it was risk playing all those players. And then for us just to lose the league game as well, it was quite annoying.
I was going to say, with hindsight, would you have fielded your strong 11 against Leicester as well?
Well, with hindsight, of course you would, because we lost the Forest game.
But I feel as well like.
But I think if Brentford played their first team against Leicester, we'd have won.
Just the way that game went.
The way the game was going.
Leicester team
how Leicester were like. Leicester were very good going forward, but they were leaving themselves open. Like,
yeah.
And when we would have won the game, 100%. It was so many times we'd get into the final third, and it's like Joel Valencia. I was like, oh.
Right. It's just one thing. So, Bill, to the viewers, some question that might come up from this is just to, not that I disagree with you, just to the viewers say, so in your words, what is the difference between Brentford fielding a weakened side to prioritise the league and Liverpool?
Good point. Liverpool are a team with hundreds of millions of pounds who can afford to have a massive squad. It's not like Brentford. It's not like Brentford literally went like straight into the youth academy and just pulled some players out and played them. We played. That was our like second string side. It would be like the same as Liverpool playing like likes of Origi, James Milner and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's just for our team. Brentford are a team with not much money, who can't afford to have a big playing squad of high wages. So it doesn't work like that. And I think that's the whole. Like, big clubs shouldn't have to field teams like that. And I think it's not just about fielding a youthful team. It's the disrespect Liverpool have gone with it, with just moaning all the time.
Yeah.
Like, Brentford didn't moan. Brentford played the team. We lost, and we're like, oh well. Yeah. We didn't go, oh my God, why did we have to move our league game to the Tuesday as an absolute joke? Brentford fans got on with it. It's the way Liverpool have gone about it that's quite embarrassing. That is a good point now, but I don't think we disrespected the club.
No, it's just the manner in which it's done is basically what you're saying.
Yeah, the manner it was done. Like, okay. Liverpool can. And let's be honest, Liverpool didn't play a second string team, did they? They played like a fourth string, so it was absolutely ridiculous. I was like, no, there was no one there who was any good.
Yeah, we'll just run through some others. Portsmouth still in after beating Barnsley.
They got Arsenal in the next round.
Yeah, Newcastle 0-0 against Oxford, a bit of a nothing game. Norwich beat Burnley. I thought that was a bit of a surprise, away from home as well. Norwich.
Yeah, you do get weird. When Premier League. Did you see how open the game was?
Yeah.
I saw the highlights, and in the first 10 minutes, like there was like 3 or 4 one-on-ones. Like Dermot hit the bar, Dermot hit the post, didn't he? He scored a goal. I think it was offside as well, or something like that. And yeah, that was a weird game.
Southampton drew 1-1 with Spurs. I mean, that's a.
Saints. Those are two sides that they probably played to their highest levels in that game. I mean, I don't know. I didn't actually watch it. But Saints and Spurs are two sides. But actually, they are two sides that will go for the FA Cup this year.
It's weird to think that when you look at those two teams now, you say a draw is actually an even result.
Yeah,
which is weird to
Spurs
say.
Are just so disjointed at the moment.
So, Jack, since you support Saints, how did you feel the game went?
Expletives off camera.
That's horrible.
He swore at us.
Cheers.
Via his hand.
What happened?
Via his hand.
Reading, Cardiff, dead game 1-0.
God. I didn't even watch that.
Oh no, that just actually made me.
Don't make that sound because I actually will chunder.
Yeah, do you know what actually made me want to be sick? Cardiff didn't play each other. obviously they're 2 championship sides. I hate all championship. I hate all like one league fixtures anyway in FA Cup.
Yeah, I don't like it.
They had to play each other then. They got to play obviously a replay because they drew, and then they got each other in the league.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awful.
They got to play each other 3 times in 12 days.
Wow.
Imagine
Just
being
so
one of the
boring.
fans. I'm not gonna lie, I would not buy a ticket to any of those fixtures.
Wait, so you're saying if you were a fan of the club, being self-aware of how terrible and boring your team is, you just wouldn't buy a season ticket?
Well, if I was a Cardiff fan, I just wouldn't turn up.
No,
But they don't either, do they?
Exactly.
So fair enough.
Yeah, fair enough. Case in point.
A team that definitely doesn't show up, and yet they still think they do. Birmingham drew 0-0 with Coventry.
Oh, that's quite a funny thing, though, isn't it? So Birmingham played Coventry at St Andrews at Birmingham's ground, but Birmingham had to go in the away end because they were the away side. But then they drew, so now they're just playing the replay in the same.
They're just
ground.
switching.
They're just switching.
Switching ends.
Absolutely ridiculous.
It's the magic of the FA Cup.
West Ham losing again to West Brom. I think that was a good result for West Brom.
Yeah,
Really
the thing is,
good-
West
really
Brom
good
changed their side and West
Yeah.
Ham didn't. That's bad, isn't
That's
it?
horrible.
That David Moyes came out of the game and he just went after the game yeah, we really wanted to get a win in this competition, we wanted to go far, but they were better than us. He looked so defeated. It was like
He's back at it again at West Ham.
I'd happily see West Ham get relegated, a club I used to love but destroyed by just moving ground.
Chelsea drew 2-1 with Hull. Good. I think
They drew 2-1
2-1
with Hull.
They beat Hull 2-1. Tomori got scored and got man of the match. I'd like to see him get in their first team again.
Yeah, Chelsea
Gotta
took
be
it
honest.
seriously as well.
He did,
Full
yeah.
strength side.
Lampard, I feel like Lampard gets.
He's gonna respect the FA Cup. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he won it quite a lot, actually, I think, as a player.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Man City for Fulham now. Tranmere nil.
No, come on. How bad was that? Tim Ream.
I got to be honest. After the second goal went in, I didn't watch the rest of the game.
I'm
To be
not.
fair, that second goal by Bernardo Silva.
Yeah, I think I was on the call with you, Jack, when the first goal went in. I shouted so much at Tim Ream.
'cause it's just
can't
game over.
stand him.
6 minutes in, and that's it. They always say keep it tight, stay in the game. I'm gonna pull someone down 1-on-1 and get sent off
Exactly.
6 minutes in.
I got to be honest though, because
Even if they missed the penalty, the game's over there.
Yeah, I watched the first bit on BBC, and I usually can't stand Danny Murphy on commentary, but
I like Danny Murphy.
coming from a Fulham point of view, I think he was really good.
That's because he played for you. Actually.
Exactly,
That's what
yeah.
he He knew nothing about Brentford in the region.
I know.
Oh my god.
He's basically terrible for everyone else.
Yeah.
But it was just a terrible game. What annoyed me the most, especially when we go 2-0 down, which I don't think that's happened. I think that's happened like once or twice in the actual championship this season. We still passed it round the back. When we had Jesus, Bernardo Silva, and Mahrez running at us.
But that's the problem, though. But passing out from the back and the way you play it works well for the championship.
Yeah.
The thing is, you're not.
Got to adapt a bit.
No, I know you have got to adapt, but what's
You think when we're a man
point?
down,
If Fulham go 10 men behind the ball, you're still not going to beat Man City, are you?
you think when we're a man down, you change it. 2 goals down and a man down. You thought you'd change it.
Just what can you
Just
change
don't.
it to? Those players don't know how to
Just
play.
literally just
that
hoof
way.
it up. Just
Don't
hoof it
know how
up the
to play,
field. Just get it in their half. I think we had 1 shot on target the whole game.
There's no point trying to play for possession when you're playing against Man City.
Exactly, and I'm pretty sure, despite doing that, we had 22% possession. What's the point?
Played for possession. Imagine you had hoofed it.
We might have actually had a chance.
No, but you had about 10%
Single-figure possession figures.
I actually hope I could see that one day.
I
want to
think
see
that's
single
gonna happen.
figures.
That would be amazing.
I mean, we were close against Millwall, weren't we? We had 88 against Millwall.
88. 88. That's mental.
The only good thing from that is Congolo got his debut, and he was actually pretty good.
Oh, shut up.
What did you see the?
He brought him from Huddersfield.
So
He's not good, is he?
No, I don't think he's the problem. He's the problem solver, but he was good in that game.
He's part of that I'm going to say generation.
Era.
He's part of that era of Huddersfield where they just bought in a load of just terrible. It was just terrible. They just bought in did some terrible business, and it was all just chucking. Brentford did it 4 or 5 years ago. We signed those players from different foreign leagues. So obviously, there's a language barrier, and they would just chuck them together at once. And it's like Forrest's got that Diacabi on loan. He's part of that era. I don't think he's going to be any good. I'm really not convinced.
Me and Bill was saying there's certain transfers that you look at it and you just that can never work.
Yeah, I mean it's true, but I don't believe it's a one-off thing that he played quite well. I could see him do quite well for Fulham, but like, does everyone say, "Oh, he's gonna be the rock at our back"? He's not.
No.
He'll do well, I think, but he won't change anything as such.
Next game.
Anyway, we're out, so it doesn't matter. We'll talk about the final game in a minute. We'll just talk about Bournemouth 1, Arsenal 2. The youngsters doing it again for Arsenal.
Fair enough.
All right, but the last game, we'll segue into this hot topic as well. Tranmere 0, Man United 6.
That was unexpected.
Sean, comments?
Well, I said it like even when the game kicked off, I was like, we're definitely winning this, like 4 or 5, and then Bill was like, oh, you don't know, like, you know, and then goals just started flying in, and then at 3-0 I was like, okay, this is done. I might as well just go do something else now.
He actually left.
You left watching.
We have some of the worst fans here.
No,
Regan turned off Fulham. He left.
Well,
I
no.
watched more of the United game than he did.
Nah, because I went to go make food, came back. So
He didn't even know United were playing.
yeah, no,
I was like, oh, United are on. He was like, what?
Yeah.
For God's sake.
But then watching that game, I was like, how did Watford lose to this?
Yeah, that is bad.
That is true.
And their pitch was bloody awful.
Well, actually, tell you what, we can go on to the topic. I know you wanted to go on to something else off the United game. You know the sort of fixture congestion and Klopp's arguments. Do you see Tranmere moaning that they had to play their replay on Thursday night and then they played Man United on the Sunday?
I thought it was Friday.
They played it Thursday night.
Oh, was it? Oh.
So they had Friday, Saturday rest and then played Sunday against a fully rested Manchester
Was it the
United
same,
side.
I thought it was is it the same team, Tranmere team that played?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolute joke. Like,
I
you don't see them moaning.
I didn't hear a single word out of them.
No.
The manager's like, oh, we're up for this fixture and all that. He didn't
They
say,
played
oh, they're all
Thursday
tired.
night and then played on the Sunday.
Yeah, there was a youngster that impressed me, like when they brought him on. I don't know what his name is. But like,
That's helpful.
no, but it's like
He's so good. I
'cause
don't remember his name.
I don't really look at like League One and stuff, but like, yeah, when he came on, he was just. Yeah, he just felt like it was a bit of breath of fresh air.
Oh, was that
Team
Hepburn Murphy? I think it was. Russia.
Oh, is it? Was it actually?
Russian Hepburn Murphy.
Former average player of the week.
Yeah.
Former.
In that team, though, he actually was playing well.
Yeah.
When it was 6-0 down.
Yeah, but to be fair, like at least Slabhead got his goal.
What?
And he got an
right,
assist as well.
His goal scorers were weird. It was
Yeah.
Jesse Lingard.
Jones scored.
Jones.
Martial. Who else scored?
Maguire, Dallow, Lingard,
Dallow.
Jones, Martial and Greenwood.
Dallow.
Happy that Greenwood got a goal.
Yeah.
Big fan of Greenwood.
Dallow.
What a flop he's been.
Are you one of those people that now Lingard scored, you're like, oh, he's going to be back to his best?
He's not scoring like. Oh, yeah, it's time he scored like after a year.
Jesus Christ.
Big up Jay Lings. This is the podcast.
This is the equivalent. This is the
thumbnail. Jay
This is the equivalent of contraception, just going around like this.
Can't get near me now, boy.
Yeah.
He's brought out a fragrance. Like you can smell like Jay Lings. Kind of want it.
I feel like he'd smell like sherbet dip dab. Do you know what I mean? Like,
There we go, an exclusive on Jesse Lingard.
I was going to say, should we give away an exclusive of what Elliot told us yesterday?
Yeah, we know something inside about. We're not allowed. We can't say that
we're
though.
not allowed to.
But no, yeah.
Long story short, we're sorry, Jesse.
Jesse.
I'm not one of those fans who thinks, oh, Jesse Lingard's great. No, he's not good. He needs to go. But I don't know where.
now that you've signed, now that you're signing
Bruno
Fernandes, you probably have to offload one of them, Pereira or.
Oh, Pereira.
You set him off now.
Oh, no.
Oh,
You
sorry.
set him off. I hated
Pereira.
A hated player, Bill Taylor.
I've put him into a Pereira coma.
Right, should we stay on with the FA Cup or should we go on to this discussion?
What? Oh, let's go straight to the.
that was literally the last FA Cup
Oh,
game.
brilliant! We can go straight to what
Okay,
question
we'll
of the
go on
week.
to this discussion. Well, we're not. Well, obviously we'll do hot topics after. Don't do your question of the week. Save your question of the week for after the
Yeah.
what's
I'm
that?
just saying, covering last week's.
Covering last week's question of the week. We got some replies here. Also, West Ham United have just signed someone. West Ham United have just signed a Czech Republic striker called Sukak. It's literally came up.
Has it?
Breaking news.
Breaking news on the
Here
FTC.
on-
Right, here we go. We got some
coming out on
So
tomorrow.
Charles asked the question. Most hated footballer.
But for not really a specific reason.
And
it's
we've
sort of just a
got
bit
some
vague.
replies here. So we've got so what did we go for? I went for Andreas Pereira and Jay Adams.
And then he changed it. Yeah.
No, I went for Chan and changed it to Pereira.
Mhm.
Charles went for Calvert-Lewin. What are you going to go for, Sean?
Jorginho.
Jorginho, that's why. Why?
Just every time I look at him, I just think he looks dirty. He just looks like a rat.
Dirty.
He needs a wash.
He needs a wash.
Adrian Lewis.
Regan, what was yours again?
Grealish.
And then we got we got some shouts here. We got Eric Dyer. Anyone agree with that?
I can get behind it, but I feel like there's quite an obvious reason. He's just a very negative.
He's living off
footballer.
that World
Do you know what I don't
penalty.
like though? You know when he scored the penalty for like the World Cup. You know when if you watched up sort of his like run up.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like, I don't know, he's like fat, but his clothes look like they're too fat for him as well. But his clothes are like hanging off him like a dress. Like he's wearing like...
That's what annoyed me about the winning penalty. He looked a bit fat.
But his clothes look too fat for him as well.
Fat.
I feel like how like footballers usually wear sort of like skin tight, like it was all hanging off him.
I feel like he's living off that and the goal he scored in the North London derby and shushed the Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
And then Arsenal won.
Yeah.
But I like Derek, but now he's. Just
I think it's a good shout. It's a solid shout.
We've got Luar.
I don't know what shit Play was on about with
Christ.
that one.
Oh no, I don't know.
Which one? The big. I'm not going to say it.
The big one. He says. Sam Mods went Ander Herrera.
I can get behind.
I
that.
quite like Ander Herrera.
What team does he support?
What, Bristol City?
Bristol City. He's kind of got a Liverpool bias.
Oh no, he has not got a Liverpool bias.
Well,
he supported him when he was like 8.
If you're associated with Liverpool in any way, you hate Ander Herrera.
Blew up.
Herrera.
I love the guy.
I think he was fantastic.
He's gonna hate that, but you said he's a Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
Marco has done the worst shout of all time and said Harry Maguire.
That's just weird.
But what reasoning though?
We should have asked him.
Just because he's overrated, maybe.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
He's not 80 million.
It's not his
Yeah,
fault.
but it's not. Yeah, but it's not his fault. No one says, "Oh, he's worth 80 million."
But
no
to be
one
fair,
says
like,
that.
From that Leicester team, like last season,
Harry Maguire's brilliant.
He's not worth 80 mil, but it's like
He's gone
it's
to a United
happen.
team
Like,
that's
he's
terrible.
English, he's young, and he's a centre back, which is in lack.
I still can't believe he's United captain, I'll be honest.
That's because Ashley Young got shipped off finally. Thank God.
How it's not David De Gea?
Yeah, David De Gea. After all the stress,
Because David De Gea's got crisp packet hands.
This is true.
He has. I'm sorry.
Worcester sauce as well.
It's because
that's another
terrible.
shout for Worcester.
Meathead or crisp packet hands.
Meathead. Next on, Bill.
Love that.
And last
Titus Bramble.
I'd really love to go like
that was the only thing Broad was ever going to reply
Play
with.
with
Titus Bramble.
Another one. Promised I'd say it. Ned Collier said Antonio Valencia. Kind of can get behind it.
Yeah.
In the sort of the thing of for no real reason. It's kind of in that sort of line.
He looked a bit weird, didn't he? Like, didn't he have like a really scary face?
Yeah, he did a bit.
Yeah, it's kind of like
and he sort of appeared in and out.
His hair was like perfect.
Yeah,
it never moved.
I always
like
remember that picture when he was choking Ash. Oh, it was Sterling, wasn't it?
Was he choking Sterling?
Yeah, in a friendly, he literally grabbed him from behind, grabbed his neck, and he's got his sticking his tongue out on his.
Well, that is a reason to hate him. But anyway, we're gonna move on now, Bill.
No.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We're just gonna stay here.
I'm just trying to see if there's anyone else.
I think that was it, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that's it. We've got some decent shouts in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not convinced by some of them though.
What's everyone's favourite? I think my favourite's Ander Herrera. I like that because he's such a for no reason, and it's kind of in that sort of line of question. I can't think of a real reason to hate him.
But I think the feeling is with Ander Herrera is use the term kind of like shit house. Like that's how he kind of gets through midfield. Like the way he just does it, he fouls players just because it like gets under their skin.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's why he can be annoyed, but that's the reason why. Like I wouldn't see a reason not to like him.
Got you.
I'm gonna join Tom Shipway on Luar. Just because, mate, you're scoring like in Championship. What are you doing backflips for?
Just jealous.
You've seen me do a
backflip.
The only backflip I see you do is when you flip bacon.
Yeah. And even then he doesn't flip, he just sticks it in the pan and lets it burn the pan.
Yeah.
Kind of want Next one.
What are we saying? What is it? Hot topics next, is it?
Can do, yeah.
Can do.
Talk about Mr. Wood.
Yeah. Wood. Yeah, hot topics. Flims.
Literally a hot topic.
Jack's doing the edit this week, so you can insert some flames for hot topics. Yeah.
Limbs, my guy.
Well, something that depends how you look at it. Is it flames? Edward's house was attacked.
Well, not for him.
For Sean.
No,
Justified.
Well, yeah, no. I
should have gone further.
Yeah, no. I put out on Twitter responding to Jack saying, yeah, it's just embarrassing. Like we're Obviously, like we've dominated the Premier League for however long. It's like it's going to happen. We haven't adapted to the times. We don't have the Arsenal players just to like do it anymore. So it's like just accept it. We're going to be bad until something changes. And then the fact that people are going to the legs of being like, oh, why is this happening? It's like it's not like we're like fucking Bolton, like that we're on the brinks of like getting
liquidated.
Liquidated. It's like we're still Man United. We still make so much money. It's like we just don't use the money in the right way and don't have the right coaching to do it. So
adding to that, Sean just used the word Arsenal correctly.
Yeah. Wow.
Big brain.
Big brain.
As he wears his stained joggers.
It's don't worry about that.
Right, so we've got any obviously Sean's a United fan, but any other thoughts on like the Edward House stuff? Like, I mean,
I suppose it
is embarrassing.
I think it's a disgrace.
I think it sort of leads to a question of how much, being a figure in football, how much, and obviously that is to the extreme, but how much sort of privacy and sort of should you actually be afforded? Do you know what I mean? Obviously that's to the extreme, but where would you cut the line in terms of what?
I feel it should be just the same as anyone else, really. Like,
but that's not
something.
It's not something you can. It's not something you can control.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about like obviously going to like the house is weird.
That is weird.
That is weird. But like if you were a fan, I guess it's
seeing him on the street and shouting something at him. Yeah, that's fine.
But going to his house,
actually actively going out to see, and the chance of him got to die. That's a bit outrageous.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
I used to
only a bit outrageous.
I used to like
someone's life on the line, but
just a bit outrageous. They stepped over the line.
Yeah, there's a fine line between.
I just want to say all of Bill's views are his own and not mine.
Not that are from the Terrace Podcast necessarily.
I used to like really.
What? So you don't think it's outrageous? You think it's fair?
I think they should have gone further.
Satire.
Just paint it on his driveway.
Oh my god, sorry. I just looked over at Wanye and he is so dead dog.
So Wayne went out last night and I mean he didn't even know the podcast was happening today. We just had to knock on his door. He's like, "Oh, what's happening?"
Yeah.
We've got with Man United fans. Like, I mean, it is going way too far because I'm sorry, like, yeah, you're not doing as well, but I mean, you can't stay at the top forever.
Exactly, yeah. It's going to come down at some point, and like, really, who's going to follow like Ferguson after that?
But like,
nobody.
There's
like that was ridiculous. United fans should just instead of moaning about them now, they should just count themselves lucky they got that 20 years.
Exactly, yeah.
Sir Alex Ferguson just being, I mean, the best manager of all time. Without question, there's no question about it.
There's no question about it. No.
Oh, have you actually? You know what that could be? What people are starting to put like Guardiola and Klopp like if they win a couple more Premier Leagues near Ferguson. Are you joking?
No.
Fergie had like a lot of time. He had for the last like 5-6 years. He had a shocking team.
Yeah.
On paper, anyway, and he was winning Premier Leagues. But
he won a Champions League with Anderson, Wes Brown, and John O'Shea.
Yeah, and he was winning. He won like how many titles did he win? Like 13 Premier League titles or something.
And like,
what?
Didn't even inherit a good squad.
Just because it's the modern era. Just because Klopp hasn't even won one Prem yet.
Yeah, he's won a Champions League, which is fair enough. Big plaudit, but it's like I feel like Liverpool fans do just care about the Premier League a lot.
So rash with recency bias.
The only people that say Pep, the only argument they have is that he's done it in how many leagues now? 4, and he's won like.
He hasn't done it.
Pep has
got. What do you mean?
He ain't won the Champions League all of them now, has he?
Bayern, Barca.
Didn't win it with Bayern.
But the thing is, he
did. 2012.
What, the Champions League?
That was he joined the season after.
He never won the Champions League with Bayern Munich.
It was the
grey-haired fella.
It's the grey-haired guy.
So basically every Bayern Munich.
No, it was. He had like a German name or something.
Yeah. Anyway, it's irrelevant.
But yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
No, but Pep's nowhere near first.
That's the only argument for people saying. I'm not agreeing. That's the reason.
Yeah,
right.
But people would say Klopp is just stupid. The only reason for Pep is because he's won leagues in like every country he's been in. But that's literally it.
There's mentioned like Brian Clough, but he still didn't achieve.
But the only argument I have for Pep is like obviously he's a great manager, gets the players playing, but like if you look at the teams he's actually inherited, like for the teams that he's gone to, they're already like world class.
Yeah. Most of the teams Pep's inherited
unlimited
and have had no competition.
Yeah.
The fact is like after his first season he was able to spend like 200 mil on a back four. Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
It's mental.
Anyway, should we move on to transfers?
Yeah.
Can I just say, because I was going to have my say on the Man United
Go on,
of course, yeah.
But
no, you can't.
Going to anyway. because growing up, I used to like Manchester United quite a bit.
Of course you... Regan, mate.
What?
Absolutely outrageous, you. You have no, like,
At least I came to my
self-respect.
common senses. Sean is still there.
Yeah. You have no, like, he's like... He liked Man United when they were good, of course.
It's true. But the reason I basically fell out with Manchester United is their fans. Because we talked about it before, but that picture of the barbed wire in front of Old Trafford, you're literally 5th in the greatest league in the world. And you have teams like...
Have you seen the one where it's like they put all like the moss on Old Trafford? Like,
yeah.
Oh my
that's what it's just getting embarrassed. Who's the one making these edits? Like,
yeah,
it's that Rizzy guy.
It's Sean King's old football Twitter account.
Shocking and vile.
It's like that. What's it? That. Jeez. It's like what's his name? I think his name's Rizzy or something. That the guy the guy is it Greenwood or something? As
yeah, he's got green. He's like
the stuff he comes out with is
I
crap.
don't even follow it, but I see it on the time. I'm like, oh, just
it's
shut
like
up.
Yeah.
From one United fan to another, shut up.
Actually, I'm glad we've got this opportunity to chat, as there's a couple things I want to... Shut up!
Literally, they are 5th in the league, and you have, like, how many 91 teams below them that would... Most fans would die for that opportunity to compete in Europe year in, year out. But they don't... I don't think they realise how lucky they are to even be in that position.
Man United fans, there's something better about them that means they don't deserve it, you know? They're just an elite set of people that don't deserve this sort of callous... terror.
Oh, when
5th in the league.
When you see people on Twitter they've bought their son, and this is your son's first United game, and they've just drawn.
Yeah.
They've just drawn to Liverpool or something, or they've only lost 2-0 to Liverpool. My kid is in tears to see what this club's become. What is your team, man?
My kid is in tears.
He was a Fulham fan. We lose to me and Bill have both seen our team lose to Nottingham Forest, and we're not in tears.
I've seen my team lose to Macclesfield.
Exactly. In one season, we both lost to Forest, and then people are crying about losing to the European champions.
I've seen Slabhead lose to a bunch of fat, bold people.
No one knows who Slabhead is.
It's our five-a-side team. Go watch us.
Charles has had to watch me have several shots just go through my legs.
I'm in a puddle of tears. So that's a bit.
You don't see edits of goals Southampton covered in moss and barbed wire.
To be fair, they probably should have. Word
on the street is I was clapped off by the fans going into the ambulance. That was 2 weeks ago.
Appropriate.
Sean was stretchered off.
Yeah.
Basically, moral of the story is if you're a United fan to think you've been hard done by, grow up.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll actually spark a few out.
Oh, Jack, can you put in the edit the in between? Grow up.
I just Mr. Gilbert.
Yeah,
just insert United clip and then Mr. Gilbert.
Shut up.
Right,
transfers.
Oh, it's me, isn't it?
Yeah, it's you.
Yeah.
Transfers.
I picked out 1, 2, 3. I probably picked out 12. We can. I'll just some I'll just go through. Some we'll talk about. I've done it a bit. Or the first one that I think came through early hours of this morning is Bergwijn to Spurs.
27 million apparently. Stole Eriksen's number. Spurs have also announced that they've permanently signed Lo Celso as well.
Yeah, he's on there as well. I think
2025.
Was that 50? No, it wasn't 50. Was it? Was it 30? 50?
About 30 million.
It's something like
Spurs
that.
fans seem quite buzzing with the signings, to be honest. They finally bought a winger, which they've needed for a while. I mean, they should have been making these signings when they were on top and they had do you know what I mean? They should have been making this when they had Poch
to come in.
Yeah, they should have been making these signings when they had Poch and they had Kyle Walker overlapping at fullback. They missed their opportunity there. They're doing business, aren't they?
I'm looking at Bergwijn's stats quickly now. He's played 16 games in Eredivisie for PSV, and he scored 5 and got 10 assists.
That's a good little output.
That's not bad.
I think since last 81 games, he's got 27 goals, 29 assists. That's
around that. And he's still only 22 years old.
Oh, is he? I thought he was like 25.
No, he's only 22.
Good sign of Spurs right now.
Yeah. I think Spurs were quite active in there as well because they also signed Gedson Fernandez.
Oh yeah, Gedson on loan. Yeah.
Option to buy, isn't it?
Did he play? Yeah, he
played.
He played in the FA Cup, didn't he? I didn't see how good he was, but obviously with Delphine. No one really does, to be honest. But with Delphine obviously supporting Sporting, he watched him quite a bit. He said he's like kind of in Ndombele style, because obviously Ndombele's injured for.
No, I didn't know if I thought he'd be box
now.
to box, but I didn't know if he was like a holding midfielder. I didn't.
Yeah, because I think he's a bit. Because I was going to say he's more like Chelsea Matic, because sometimes he got forward, sometimes he got back. Went like in his prime, but
aren't Spurs stacking up on that position a bit?
Yeah,
they're buying loads of people in that position just to hope they find the next Dembele.
And just in case,
see what sticks.
And just in case if they have like a defensive issue, they'll push one of them back.
Centre back. Yeah.
That's basically it. But yeah, like you said, they lost Christian Eriksen to Inter Milan.
It was going to happen, wasn't it?
It was going to happen, but it's just who.
I still don't get why some of the fans were like happy he went. But yeah, he wasn't good towards like the end of it. But
still a good asset to have.
Over the last 7 years or so, he's probably been one of, if not the best player.
Until this all he was probably my favourite Premier League player, Christian Eriksen. I really like watching, especially years when Spurs were struggling a bit, and he came in and he was just. He literally, people forget, he was lifting that team.
He was the only good transfer. Sorry, it was the only good transfer out of that bunch of the Bale.
The amount of times it was like Spurs were like winning games 1-0 and Christian Eriksen was getting the goal. Like he really. I hope he at least get. I hope he like Spurs fans look back on him as still being a good player and don't just completely like hate on him.
And just forget him, because all the times when they were just getting into Europe or just Europa League, he was the reason why. We'll talk about a player that was recalled by Spurs, but now some reason plays for QPR. Jack Clarke left Leeds to go to QPR. Like, why?
I don't know.
I don't see.
Well, he wasn't playing at Leeds.
I know, but does he play at QPR? I know he might get some game time.
I don't know.
But anyway, actually, we'll talk about QPR because they've lost their top scorer now. He's gone back to Burnley. Nahki Wells. Do you think
how many goals did he get?
He's on like 13.
He got 13 in like 20 games or something.
Burnley really do have like just.
They have good strikers.
Nahki Wells doesn't suit him at all.
No,
he's small and quick. He's a bit of a poacher. He's not.
So I'm glad he left QPR because
funny, innit?
Because I don't like QPR succeeding.
Yeah, it's funny.
But I feel like
Jamie Perry, QPR fan, went. Oh, I was taking Mick when I saw the rumours that Burnley might recall him, and he was going, "No, Nahki wouldn't leave us. Nahki said he loves us. Nahki wouldn't." Gone the next day.
Bye. See you later.
You actually love that. I love fans being heartbroken by multi-millionaire footballers.
I kind of hope he goes on loan to like a lower Premier League team, because I can't.
He's not good enough.
No, as in just so because I don't think he'll get any game time at Burnley, because I just don't think it. Like you said, I don't think it suits him.
Why would he go on loan to a lower Premier side?
Just so for QPR fans as well, to say he's not Premier League quality.
Yeah, he's not.
But
he's had his chance in the Premier League.
Exactly.
There's a reason Burnley loan him out.
And then still the QPR fans are, he's better than Watkins or Mitrovic. No, he's not.
Go away.
Exactly. He's got more goals per game ratio. So, what if I don't know, name a really bad Championship defender that's never played. Congolo. Let's say if Congolo played one game for Fulham and scored a header in 1 minute and he has better goals per game, does that mean he's the best striker in the champ?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Sign him
I
up.
think we've just confirmed it here.
Enough said.
Sign him up, Real Madrid. Well, another weird Championship one is Jean-Kevin Augustin to Leeds from Monaco. That was weird.
Yeah, I don't like the hype around this one.
Wait, have you guys seen that clip that BT Sport put up where he does the roulette and then he goes to shoot, he skies it?
Yeah, he skies it and everyone's like, "Oh my God, Leeds United." What do you mean?
He didn't score.
He didn't score.
Yeah.
But one of the quote tweets was like, "He did." Like, the quote tweet was, "What a goal!" and it was just miles over the bar. Like, it was just ridiculous. This guy, I've looked at his stats. He's got something like, I don't know, he's meant to be highly rated, and he's played for some big clubs: Monaco, Red Bull Leipzig. But he got like 3 goals. How many goals has he got? It's really. One sec, let me quickly look.
What, in this season or career?
Just in career. It's not.
This year he's played 13 games and scored 1 goal.
So that's good.
Striker.
But like, people are blowing up on Twitter saying, there was those people on the Brentford Twitter saying, "Oh no, that's it. Leeds to confirm the Championship title." What do you mean? This guy,
Come
just because you know who he is,
on.
because you signed on Football Manager, like I have plenty of times.
He's like the highly rated youngsters on like FIFA 13
It's
career mode.
Right, he's 22.
Oh, he's real now.
Right. So in senior football,
Scored 14.
he scored 14 goals.
In 35 games. Jesus.
No, in more than that.
About 80.
Yeah, about 80 games in his whole
35
career.
goals in 131 games.
And a lot
And most of them were for PSGB.
35 goals in 6,500 minutes of football.
Thanks a lot.
That's like Bill Taylor standard. I think you could do
And he's
better
in
job.
goal.
It's terrible.
I think you could do better.
That's it.
job than
That's it. I'll just say, don't believe the hype. Jean-Kevin Augustine.
I can't wait for him to score one goal in his debut. And I was like,
Oh my
here we
God.
go.
I love Ellen Road.
No,
Do you?
don't.
I don't personally.
Okay, good. We'll talk. Well, I might as well talk since we're on the champ.
Oh, Sky Sports News Bulletin. It's quite fitting. Transfer news. Manchester United reached an agreement with Sporting Lisbon over the transfer of Bruno Fernandes.
Bruno.
Finally
Opinion?
happened, thank God. Yeah, I feel like.
He's never getting a live reaction. Yeah, I feel like.
Yeah, no, like
Yes.
obviously.
What everyone watch.
Yeah, so I saw it coming
Camera
on Twitter,
on.
like from a
Uncontrollably
reliable
happy.
source, and then obviously we kind of been screaming out for a midfielder because as good as Mata is, like, he's a bit too old now, but it's like the only time we were playing well was when we had Pogba in the side. And then even though he's been injured and come back for like one game, he was our best player again. So I feel like just having a more consistent like central attacking midfielder, like just to get the balls through to Rashford and like Greenwood and Martial, then yeah, I think we'll get a bit more, get a few more goals in there. But
It's definitely a position United have struggled with, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, when Andres Pereira plays there, it's like playing with 10 men.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, to be fair,
no, but it actually is.
It is.
Because
Actually,
before, like,
It's not beating around the bush. It is.
Charles, you might as well be in that position. Just tap in, like, so basically the ball gets. He does pick up the right spaces, Pereira. He'll pick up in that, the area
It's
they
just
always
the
say, that
final
number
third.
10 position,
The
Yeah.
pocket.
behind the defence, but in front of the whatever it is, behind the midfield in front
On
of
the
the defence,
grass.
and it's like,
but it's just that
yeah, but he
final
picks up the ball
pass.
and then he just pops it back to the CDM again. Like,
Or it's not even that, or you try and play a forward pass, it'd just be poor.
he has no technical ability, he has no pace, he has no strength, and he has no brain.
He has no brain.
No,
Bruno Fernandes will
It's
like
quite astonishing. We've done the dissection. No brain.
him playing with, like, if he can pick it up quite quickly and be on the half turn with pace, like he is quite a direct attacking midfielder. Playing like likes of Rashford and James through and Martial should be a big sign of United, I think.
I like the way it took. I like the way it took Barcelona to put a bid in for Man United to realise,
Just finally
right,
just
we
buy
need
him.
this guy
They
now.
have the money, just buy him.
Yeah, because how much were you like bidding in the first place?
I think we put in like 40 at first.
And they wanted like 55 or something.
And then I think Barcelona came with like 46, and then like hours later, Man United like right 50.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
put 50 in right now.
Yeah, and 50 million pounds like for him, I reckon, would be quite good.
It's about right, isn't it?
Yeah.
But knowing him and knowing Man United, he'll play one game injured, be on the bench for his career.
Or he'll play really well, and then he'll just slowly descend because everyone else is just really bad, and then he'll just get fed up.
And then you'll get a new manager in, and then he'll be fantastic for like 10 games, and then just get injured.
Yeah.
I think it's time to take the road trip, to be honest, Regan.
I believe so.
Beep, beep, get back in the Jeep. It's time for Regan's road trip.
It's always very aggressive, isn't it? Get back in the Jeep.
Get
Like,
in the Jeep
what if he
now.
what if he doesn't want to go this week? Just
No.
Just
No.
okay, Regan.
Get in the Jeep.
Yes.
No.
How was the Jeep this week?
Comfy.
It's
Good
getting
music on.
It's getting worn down a bit.
How
No,
on the
is
tyres?
it-
Wear and tear?
Is it a bit of a George Hopcraft?
Oh,
Yeah. Needs
It's
jump
one-
leads.
It's one of them
Yeah.
ones. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually haven't wrote much this week. Definitely not because I was writing it in this studio.
Nah, don't worry
That's
about that.
not what we do
No,
here.
we weren't watching Rocket League before. No.
Rocket League.
Shout out OJBY, yeah!
Hey, wait, why am I clapping?
Give him one clap. But
I'm not a fan of our sponsor.
Oh.
Let's put it that way.
What? Come on.
The thing is, though,
Our sponsor?
he's a fan of us. So
Doesn't
that's all
count
that
as a
matters.
sponsor if.
We've got more followers than him.
But still, he's a loal sub.
Yeah.
He is
I
a
do.
low, so
Alright,
big up to
alright.
whatever his name
He puts
is.
our link in his stream every 15 minutes.
Whatever his name is.
That's his
Can
birth
you imagine
name?
on YouTube when they do brands like, oh yeah, I got this brand deal. Don't know who they are.
What are they called?
Go on, Regan. Take
Right,
us around Europe.
You're not going to like the first one
Mm.
because it's the Bundesliga, and
I wonder who's top of the league.
Bayern Munich are now
It's
1
Leipzig,
point off the
actually.
league.
Oh.
But Leipzig are actually,
Oh, did you see that guy? He faked a volley
Yeah.
for Gladbach.
Oh.
That was sublime.
But the fact is, I don't really see many people hype it up. But if it was like Kylian Mbappe, everyone would be buzzing.
I know, yeah.
Except for Mbappe scoring with his hand.
Yeah.
So Dortmund could still get the title.
Mate, Haaland.
It's really close.
Five,
Doing
five
well.
goals in 2 games.
It is close up there. Top four is
It's interesting. This
4
time.
points between the top four.
And
Good
speaking,
stuff.
like even last week, what was it? Like 8, 9?
Yeah, it's
It's a 4-horse race.
Dortmund are the informed side as well, aren't they?
Well, obviously Bayern.
They've won their last
You've
3.
literally got the format.
Oh yeah. Oh, they're not the informed side. Sorry.
But yeah, looks at form, doesn't realise.
They're the informed side. They're probably the least informed side.
What could possibly indicate their form? That will be the form.
Just guess.
Just guess.
But yeah, Leipzig lost 2-0 to Frankfurt. Bayern Munich beat Schalke 5-0, and Dortmund beat.
They beat Schalke 5-0. Schalke are 6th.
5
stuff.
different scorers as well,
Lovely.
and Dortmund beat Cologne 5-1 with Haaland scoring twice
Yeah. So he's got 5 goals in his first 2
in
games.
59 minutes of football.
Wow.
That
He's not even
what he
played
came off the
out.
bench again.
Yeah,
He's not
Oh,
They love a bench striker, don't they? I don't know
no.
what's his name's up to. now.
Alcacer did it.
Alcacer. I don't
Yeah.
know how he's doing this year, but he had that ridiculous
yeah.
run at the start where they kept. Yeah.
That's I'm pretty sure he was the reason why they were top until like March. And then he got
Yeah.
injured, and then they just fell apart.
Dortmund have scored 5 goals in the last 2 games.
And and Haaland. Wait, what?
No, they've
And
scored
each-
5 goals in 2
each-
consecutive
Oh, so he
games.
scored 10 in 2 games,
Yeah, yeah.
and Haaland scored half of them.
Thanks a lot.
from the
Haaland.
bench.
Thanks a lot.
But to be fair, like in his first game, they were like proper helping him out, literally just knocking the ball to him.
They were,
like,
yeah.
put it in.
And that defence as well. I can't remember who was it. I
Yeah.
can't remember.
Augsburg.
Oh yeah, their defence was absolutely shockingly bad.
To be fair,
It's
like,
like watching BS at the
Alfred's
back.
goal though, just like the first,
yeah,
first goal, they was banging.
They played well offensively, but defensively,
Yeah,
especially
defensively, they're awful.
because we were saying last week he's like 6'1", Haaland, and yet he's
I
so
don't
quick.
I don't get how he's so rapid. And then I watch him play, and I'm just like, oh, like United just. Why are you doing
And he's like, oh, he's younger than me. Oh,
I don't like that.
I
don't like when I say,
we're
oh,
we're getting to that point now where players coming through that are younger than us.
I don't like saying, oh, he's a youngster, and he actually is younger than me.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not nice.
Don't worry, Bill. There's still time for your football.
I look out there on the pitch, and Brian Mbuemo is the same age as me.
What?
That's mental. I just know. I'm such a disappointment. No, I actually don't like thinking about that. Brian Mbuemo is out there looking like a proper. He's a bloke. He's there. He's got 12 goals in the championship. He's whipping things. His pace. All this. He just looks. That's me.
Picking his belly button for fluff.
When I think about it, like driving with his t-shirt up in the car after a car.
Oh, my carvery really filled me up, so I
brilliant
pulled my t-shirt
performance
up, so I had my belly out.
Oh, that's just grim.
Excellent.
That is-
Actually, that's a contender for performance of the week. You at Toby
Carvery.
Carvery.
Oh,
How did
actually,
that-
Regan, we have to revisit.
Regan's
performance of the
road
week.
trip to Toby Carvery.
Performance of the week has to be me at Toby Carvery.
It was insane.
I ate probably double what
Was
they
that the thing
weigh.
you put on your story, like
Yeah.
eating like a king, and you literally have half the whole
Do you know
restaurant
what it is?
on
I
your
actually want
plate?
to go back.
Yeah, we definitely are this week.
Right, let's sack
Oh,
off the
no,
road
no,
trip.
no.
Let's leave now.
Bill,
Wade actually got up. I was like, he's gone.
Bill's been banned from Toby Carvery.
Right, let's get through this road trip then.
That was basically it for the Bundesliga. Nothing else really happened. All 4 of the top teams in Serie A all dropped points.
Yeah.
Roma and Lazio drew 1-1. Juventus lost to Napoli.
Wait.
Oh, yeah, I saw that, yeah.
As well.
Napoli. Oh yeah, well, that's why
Yeah.
Ancelotti got sacked because obviously.
Yeah.
'Cause that-
And then Ronaldo scored again.
It's like 8 in a row now.
did,
Juventus, 8 in a row
Oh,
now.
he's got.
Was
his,
it do you say into one?
No, they
Inter
drew 1-1
Cagliari and-
Oh,
with
they're
Cagliari.
And
flipping
Ronaldo
bottling it.
scored against his old club.
But the thing is about that,
Cheers.
it was in the news about everything. You know that their informed striker, that Martinez guy.
Yeah.
In like the 93rd minute, he got literally
sent off.
elbowed in the back, and the ref didn't give it. So he shouted at the ref,
He got sent
booked
off.
him, and then he went up to his face, probably about that far away from his face, and literally screamed at the top of his lungs in the ref face.
What an idiot.
And then the ref sent him off, and then then Martinez turned around and just walked off crying with his head in his
What a
hands.
loser.
In,
But to be fair,
You hear that, then, mate?
Inter Milan have drawn all 3 of their last 3 league games.
It's almost as if
they are building a good squad though.
It's weird.
Now they've got Eriksen.
Out of the two Milan teams, I thought it was going to be AC Milan that were going to sort of come out of this bad spell.
I've always preferred Inter to AC now.
I only like AC because they're FIFA.
I really like AC Milan.
Now AC have Ibra. I hate AC Milan.
Thank you.
No, I just liked AC Milan like back in the day when you had like Kaká and that, and I was like.
Oh yeah, that era with like Ronaldinho and like Maldini and stuff like that.
I'm quite different now, aren't I? I don't really like people are like, oh my god, I used to love watching them. I don't like watching like the good footballers.
No, it's just like.
Well, I do, but I mean, like, no, but
this is why you support Brentford.
But I do, but you know, kind of everyone's like, oh, it's so in awe of like, oh yeah, my favourite team was that AC Milan side of 2004, 2005. Nah, my favourite team was the Burnley team of 2013.
So many great memories.
Robbie Blake. Look at him, Wayne loves it. Robbie Blake.
Right, yeah, that was
it for Serie A.
That's literally it for Serie A. The last one is.
Actually, just on Serie A, like, who do you think Juventus are just going to win the league still?
It's just
pretty close.
The stars are just aligning now.
Yeah, it's kind of it's falling into place.
We're getting to that stage where all the teams are just not winning when they need to.
Yeah, it was a bit like they just didn't really take the opportunity. Although like, all of them dropped points at the same time. Like one of them could have just won.
I think they're the only team left in the Champions League. No, Napoli are. Somehow Napoli are.
They beat Liverpool, didn't they? So, in the group game anyway.
Yeah, Napoli and Juve are in the Champions League, but you still have like Inter in Europa and stuff like that. But I'd say at the beginning of the season, either when Inter are winning, Juventus are going to win. Let's be honest. Yeah. Last one is La Liga. Barcelona absolutely bottling the league, losing 2-0 to Valencia.
That's what happens when you sack your manager. Such a great one as a
I agree. Get Valverde back, or whatever his name was.
Valverde.
Get Felt Tip back, or whatever it is.
And then Nacho Fernandez scoring for Real Madrid. I think it was like 78th minute or something like that.
Yeah.
Sean's the only one who keeps track of like these other leagues as well.
I should do Regan's road trip.
Yeah.
Don't expose me, man. Come on, man.
He's the.
I could do some nachos right now.
Oh, mate.
Oh, you've made him hungry. God's sake.
No, but like, don't you hate it? I was having this conversation. You know when they have nachos and the distribution, like the sour cream.
Yeah, it makes it.
You get a nice little wet bit in the middle, and everything
there
else
is
is
nothing
dry.
better when you have like a big plate of nachos and
and
they come in them. You got guacamole, you got salsa, you got cheese, and you got jalapenos. It's great stuff.
We've gone from Barcelona to nachos.
Right, that was it for Regan's food trip. Next up,
Regan's fashion trip.
Right, should man versus food take over Regan's road trip?
I'll big up
Bill versus food.
The old 24 after he scored.
Oh yeah, Neymar.
Kobe Bryant. So I'll give him that.
Shout out.
Still hate Neymar.
Hate Neymar, but I'll give him that.
Fair enough.
Right, that is it.
Give him that.
That is it. I
That's
think
it.
we're moving on to another segment by.
We no longer have a retro player of the week, do we?
No,
is that what
scrap that.
It's called Charles's question.
Charles's
question of the week. Fight. Jack Wayne. Do you want to fight something? Shut up.
Who is the better cameraman?
Fight.
There's only one way to find out.
I'm not gonna lie, Jack. I think my money's on one.
Nah, Jack would absolutely scrap him.
Yeah.
Just
bite his ankles like a little terror. Anyway, so last question. The question last week was obviously who's your most hated this week. So it's your favorite support the team that you support. What is your favourite moment that's really specific to you that you can't really describe why you love that moment so much? So if you're a Watford fan, don't say something like Deeney against Leicester.
Yeah,
that's obvious.
Do like a really weird away win.
Really weird away win, and it's like no one else will have that connection to that moment that you do. It could be like, I don't know, the pie at half-time was all right, or like, my trousers.
Yeah, don't ask me for my answer this week, but I will come out next week because I'll think about that because there's definitely a few.
Yeah. So my one is, I've got a couple. It's not the team I support, but Johan Elmander's goal against Wolves. That is my favourite footballing moment of all time. Brilliant goal, but I just love it so much. It's like my favourite.
We watched too many Premier League years.
That's always been my favourite. I remember seeing it on Match of the Day. I remember the exact moment when I saw it on Match of the Day and just being stunned. Like,
imagine that.
Yeah.
Johan Elmander's goal against Wolves is your favourite footballing moment.
Honestly, incredible.
That's when football peaked for you.
Oh, brilliant. Any ideas? It's kind of, you have to think about it a bit longer. But if you can, to the fans, if you respond with like a GIF or a picture, that would be nice.
Does it have to be our team, or could it just be any?
I guess
logo?
well, I've just said Elmander, so it can kind of be any.
Just any football.
Yeah.
You know what? I say we all do. We'll go away, come back, do one for your team, and then one of just football in general.
I could do one for football in general, and that's just the Gerrard slip. That's my favourite moment, just because.
Well, no, it's not.
It's just the fact that it's just everything lined up perfectly. Don't let this slip now. And then he slipped.
So you'd say that you're.
To be honest, when you say it like that, it is hilarious.
So, but it's also it is your favourite moment, but it's also one where it's kind of weird. It's like, why is if you said that, someone would go, why is that your favourite moment?
It's either that or the Palace 3-3 with Liverpool.
So basically, you hate Liverpool.
Well, yeah, have to.
Any ideas?
I'll try and make mine not a pie at football ground.
Yeah, a pie at football ground. The one that's just like
my favourite footballing moment.
It's kind of a bit more of a
chicken
one to
bolty
think
pie.
I mean, I can think of some top of my head, but they won't be my answer.
Yeah,
okay.
I say
so we'll put them on Twitter once you've thought of it.
Like the ones at the top of my head is the Barca PSG comeback thing, that final goal.
Yeah.
I think because I'll probably remember that, and the Fulham one is the Sessegnon hat trick.
Oh, what, Sheffield United?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good moment. The fair play.
Yeah.
I like that.
Only because you
like
see him.
Like, to be honest, even though I'm still
through.
like Fulham, when Cess was doing that, I was like, whoa, yeah.
You see him come through the ranks like this could be it, and when it happens, you're like,
it's a good one.
Yeah.
Hat trick at Sheffield United at 17 years old. That is pretty mad. Anyway, we're done this week, aren't we? Are we?
No. Let's do it all over again.
All right, yeah, we are done this week.
From the Terrace Podcast.
Yeah. Hello and welcome back. Right, yeah, we are done this week. Thanks, BS, for coming on.
Cheers, BS. Come on.
BS stepped in. He
stepped in for no one.
There was question marks over Charles's presence today, so BS stepped
But
up.
we're happy he was here. Charles, that was.
Cheers, Snack, as always. Wanye stood up. Well, yeah. How long did you reckon stood up for? About half an hour?
And then you just blend in with the furniture.
Honestly.
Yeah, no, I died a bit. He was here.
He resurrected. He's like God.
He was here just like tapping my leg, wanting some water.
I just thought, Jack and Wayne have... do you know what? I will end this podcast now because Jack and Wayne have 7 minutes to get the cameras back to where they need to be. So,
quick.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and follow us on our socials. That will come up at the end of the video as long as Jack remembers to put them in.
All the bless, God bless, and shut up.
Cheers.
Peace.
Good pod. Excellent broadcast.